The problem with us, we think the jersey number 10 is the one that is playing. It was me who was playing. I was just wearing the jersey.
But did you want it to retire, Ajay?
It's not me. It's Pirates who want it to retire, not me. I can't tell Pirates to retire my jersey. At Cosmos, yes, I retired it because it's me. They want it. They won't get it. They want it. They're not good enough. Kunomnyifana wathi undurula uqonda
Khona mosina.
hayi khona into ndurula number 10 ningangithuki man ningathuki number 10. That jersey is special. This man scored goals, not goals. He played against me. He knows me. He knows. He knows. He played against me. I was not just a player. I was special. And special, the difference is week in, week out. Not special for 1 week and then off next week. I was week in, week out, week in, week out, every week. If I play bad, you'll see me on the road. No, serious, jogging to boys in the back if I play bad. But number 10, he can have it there, no problem.
But that current number 10 has got what it takes. The one who's wearing it, Pirates today.
Who's that?
But that current number 10 has got what it takes. The one who's wearing it, Pirates today.
Who's that?
But that current number 10 has got what it takes. The one who's wearing it, Pirates today.
Who's that?
Greetings everyone, I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. I would like to start off by acknowledging that Mr. Jomo Sono is arguably the best player Orlando Pirates has ever had, or maybe the best player South Africa has ever had, arguably. But I just want to say, media will always be media. Media will never repent. Media doesn't care. Media doesn't have mercy at all. Media will always be media, just like a crocodile. A crocodile will always be a crocodile, irregardless of those tears. I repeat, irregardless of those tears. Let me just make an example so that you can understand where am I going. Probably in your life, you know that person, that one individual. It can be your friend, your neighbor, your uncle, your grandpa, your grandma, that if you press a certain button, they may react in a certain way, irregardless of who is around. In other words, they may mess up everything that is around. In other words, they may cause a disaster, irregardless of who is around, especially if you press a certain button. Probably you know that one individual or that one person in your life, or maybe around your life. So in other words, if you know that if I press this button, this is how this person is going to react, then you know that you have to try by all means to not even come close to that button. Why? Because you want the event, you want everything to go smooth. Now, let's come to this issue of the media interviewing Mr. Jomo Sono. If you are a journalist, in other words, you have to prepare yourself in advance. And most of the journalists are always preparing themselves. Even the questions they ask, they always prepare those questions beforehand or in advance. And again, if you are not familiar with Jomo Sono as a journalist, you have to make sure that before you interview Jomo Sono, you know about the history of Jomo Sono. You know who Jomo Sono is. And you know which button you should not press. Why? Because you care. But here's the thing. Bear in mind that media doesn't care at all. They only care about controversy. Why? Because controversy pays. That is why we have been programmed for many years to be interested in controversy. That is why these days people are no longer interested in good content. People are no longer interested in history. People are no longer interested in good education, something that empowers them. We love control. We love controversy. We love, like, for an example, negativity more than positivity. In other words, we have been programmed. So in other words, they prepared all these questions. In other words, they were like, okay, we want something that will make this interview to go viral. If maybe, for an example, they could have asked just normal questions or other general questions, this video would not have trended. But now you have to understand that media is in business. That is why media doesn't care. Media cares only about finance. Media cares about finance and popularity. And this is where we have to be careful. This is where we need to be careful. And other content creators on YouTube, social media, like for an example, TikTok and many other platforms, this is where we need to be careful. Why? Because sometimes we want to prioritize, like for an example, popularity, business, finance above anything else. And this is where we might be triggered. You may be triggered to end up being like mainstream media. So mainstream media is interested in money, is interested in finance. That is why if you have a situation, a serious situation, don't go to media, because media might convert your situation into something else. Why? Because they want to make money, because they want business. They know that people love controversy, and since they love controversy, then this is what will trend. But you know that this button you should not press. In other words, if you love these young players, you should say, now let me just hold myself. Let me be responsible. Let me not compare Mr. Jomo Sono with these players. Let me not compare these players with Jomo Sono, because I know how he's going to respond. And especially if you know that in what he's going to say, there's an element of truth. In other words, never trigger him. Because at the end of the day, there are those who are going to be discouraged. There are those who are going to be demotivated. So if you love those players, as a good journalist, you have to say, you know what? Let's avoid this. Let's avoid this. But now, because it's all about business, it's all about money, then that is why media becomes heartless. That is why they ended up asking this question. Even if you can ask him this question in 2026, 2027, 2029, Mr. Jomo Sono will always respond in this way. So if you know which button not to press, you have to avoid that button if you can. But I just want to say, media will always be media. Like a crocodile, those tears should not trigger you.
Patrick Maswangan.
Who?
Patrick Maswangan.
Patrick.
Another titan.
Masongani.
Yeah.
I saw him doing this, going towards his goalpost. He was doing on the ball like this and going this direction. I don't know. And then I switched on to English football. He was going this way. The Pirates was going this way. And he was going like this. I don't know. So I don't know if the Pirates number 10 was doing that. You posed a question, now I'm giving it back to you. Now you can't answer me. I'm asking you. I don't say it's wrong. I'm just saying the only time I saw him was when he was doing that.
One could argue that you also entertain the crowd in that manner as well.
Yeah, only when you.
Good.
I wasn't going that way. wanted to go that way. And Jingles Pereira, he was my shadow, was following me all over the field. And then I dribbled past him and I went around and he hit me and the referee blew the whistle and I stood on the ball. That's all I did. And from there, I took the ball and I went to score. Look at that, you'll see. I was playing 1-2s until I scored. So I wasn't doing that.
Also, this number 10 likes standing on the ball like the original number 10.
Yeah, I'm saying to you, they had already blew a foul against him. That's when I stood on the ball. Otherwise, I would never stand on the ball. I want to go forward. I wanted to go forward all the time. But he's okay. But don't compare now because you have compared a lot of them and they died. They're all dying after you compare them with. Don't compare. You can't compare, honestly, an elephant to an ant. This guy was an elephant.